Good Friday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, one is had a fantastic Friday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Friday evening going into your weekend and your future, just in general. We are here tonight. We have made it all the way. Yes, finally, we have made it all the way through the week. Let's go and get a round of applause real quick for that, because that's absolutely amazing. We made it through all the way through the week, and now we are planning to continue and go into this weekend, and then we'll have our last week. Yes, our last week of May. Going into obviously next week. So we're going to go on and talk about that in just a second. First off, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button. Share it with all the people that you know. We have, right now, 3 people watching, only 1 singular like. So go on and get that and hit the like button. Also, if you have not hit the subscribe button, make sure you go and do so. We're at 470 subscribers. We need 30. Yes, 30 more subscribers until we get to our goal of 500. 30 more until we get to our goal of 500. So let's go on now and get started. Good Friday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, one has had a fantastic Friday. I'm your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Friday night going into your weekend and just your night in general. Looking at the radar right now, nothing going on for the entire state of South Carolina. But if we look at what's going on throughout the entire United States, we do have some rain going on from places up there in the Northeast all the way into Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, as well as Illinois. We also do have some storms going on, Louisiana going into Mississippi, as well as some more rain and some snow going on in the Dakotas, and then some severe weather going on in Nebraska, eastern Colorado, as well as western Kansas as well. I don't know why I couldn't think about it, but overall, that's what's going on. As we go on now, let's go on and talk about our cloud cover. Cloud cover right now is actually showing some, not so much cloud cover, honestly, if that makes sense. Not much cloud cover at all. It's looking nice and clear out there. Maybe some low clouds, isolated, very isolated, near the coastal PD region, but overall, that's pretty much it. Going into our cloud cover for the future, as we go on and push this forward, you can see that cloud cover is going to stay clear even as we go through tonight and as we get into tomorrow morning. You can see that cloud cover is really just staying on the clear side until we get to around tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you can see into tomorrow afternoon, you can see that cloud cover will become a lot more widespread. And even as you go into tomorrow evening, that cloud cover will actually start to clear up a little bit more as well. So honestly, it's going to start off probably cloudy tomorrow, but that cloud cover is going to start clearing up. Current temperatures right now, 75 in Summerville, 75 in Moncks Corner, as well as 77 in Holly Hill, 75 in Charleston, 77 in Onondaga and Georgetown, 79 in Columbia, as well as 75 up there in Conway and Loris, 79 in Myrtle Beach, in North Myrtle Beach, 79 inside of Allendale. We also do have 73, I believe that is, inside of Donald, 71 in Greenwood. We also have 66 in Anderson, 71 in Winnsboro as well. As you go into low temperatures for tonight, around 53 in Greenville, 51 in Spartanburg, as well as 53 in Rock Hill, 55 in Charlotte. We also have 56 in Florence, 61 in Myrtle Beach, 59 in Georgetown, 62 in Moncks Corner, as well as 68 in Charleston, 62 in Walterboro, as well as 60 in Barnwell, 71 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 58 inside of Aiken. In terms of rainfall for tonight, it's not really a lot. You can see that maybe just a little trace from, places inside the Midlands, maybe up there inside the very far upstate of South Carolina. But overall, that's pretty much all that we're looking at in terms of rainfall. And as you go into severe weather, this is tonight. No thunderstorms expected tonight. Even as we go into tomorrow, thunderstorms are expected. And even a marginal risk of severe weather just to the west of Aiken, South Carolina, going all the way into Georgia and Alabama as well. But now this risk right here is mainly just going to be a wind threat. Maybe a gusty storm could pass through this area, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds. That is inside the question. But we're not done. Sunday, May the 25th, 2025, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather for Florence, Columbia, Aiken, the entire low country of South Carolina, and Myrtle Beach as well. All these regions have a marginal risk of severe weather. And that, we don't know exactly the exact risk in terms of probabilities right now. We only have a 5% risk of severe weather. So that's inside that very low category. But it's still very low, and it's definitely not zero. So I'm not going to say that nothing is going to happen by this. Yes, there definitely, something definitely could happen. But if I was to guess, probably wind being the most major threat. We'll talk about that in just a second, though. In terms of excessive rainfall, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather for Tuesday, May the 27th, 2025. Honestly, I believe we had a risk for a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for Monday. But I believe that has since disappeared. So we're just looking at Tuesday, May the 27th. Right here, you can see a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for pretty much the entire state of South Carolina, except for down here near Ridgeland, Beaufort, Bluffton, and Hilton Head Island. Other than that, everybody else has a minor risk of flooding on Tuesday. Now, this will shift around. This will change. This might be gone by tomorrow. Maybe it may have increased to the entire state by tomorrow. We don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what the Weather Prediction Center says and see what they say. That's it in terms of our excessive rainfall and severe weather. Let's talk about the models. So we're going to start off here. Short-term future first. You can see not much going on. Even as you go into tonight, high pressure takes over, and it's going to be a nice and dry night tonight. Even as you go into tomorrow afternoon, still looking pretty dry. Maybe an isolated shower or two as you get into like the evening hours, but overall still nothing much. And even as you get into around 10 p.m., I'm not seeing anything. This is 9 p.m. right here, so when I start recording again, 24 hours out into the future, and you can see, you don't even see a single drop of rain over here. So, there is a good chance that we might not even see a drop of rain until we get into around like late tomorrow night, like around 11 to 12 o'clock in the morning. And then as we get to around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning as well, some more shower and thunderstorm activity goes on as well, even going through the low country PD region all throughout these regions as you get into around 3 to 4 a.m. on Sunday. And then as you continue forward even more into the late morning where that rainfall still continues, even going to the afternoon hours as well, going near the coastal regions as well. Now, in terms of what the models are saying for the next 48 hours or so, overall, they're around like a good, I'd say around a good half an inch. Half of an inch, probably up to an inch for some of these regions. Again, this is just one model run, but, it's one, and this is a possibility. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. I do want to go on and see what it says for the next 3 days, though. So as we get into that real quick, you can see right here, this is how much rain is expected as we go through the next 3 days. Maybe not. Here we go. Alright, so this is how much rainfall we could potentially see over the next 3 days from 9 o'clock p.m. tonight to 8 o'clock p.m. on Monday. Overall, you can see pretty much a tenth of an inch for everyone as you move through the next 3 days or so. And some people, an inch to maybe even an inch and a half. It was mainly showing it down here inside the low country, but the National Weather Service has it up here inside of places like Camden, South Carolina, just to the north of Sumter as well. So we'll continue to watch that, see how it goes along and how they update it over the next couple of days as well. But overall, that's pretty much it there. Let's talk about the long-term future. So here we go right here. Time is in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure you go on and look at that as we move through May the 25th, the 26th. There goes all this rainfall. And this is Tuesday right here. One of the reasons why we have all of this excessive rainfall that we're going to have to watch for. And then this is Wednesday going into Thursday as well. Just look at this active rainfall. We could most definitely see rain daily for pretty much most of the state as we move all the way into June. But that's, mainly probably going to start around the 26th to the 27th. Probably more like the 29th is when we can start to see. Look at this is the 29th. This is the 30th. This is the 31st. This is June the 1st. This is June the 2nd. This is June the 3rd right here. And so you can just see pretty much the entire state. And this is through June the 4th, June the 5th. even through June the 7th. Again, now, I mean, that's a bit too far out. I'd say when we get to around June the 5th, that's, we're getting to a bit too far out territory. But overall, this is a sign. This is a huge sign that things are occurring. And when I say things, I just mean active rainfall is occurring. And so, definitely, you have to get anything outside done. I definitely would get it done before you get into next week. Even going into, especially the first week of June, which is after next week. So I definitely get that done this weekend. I mean, it's a 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend anyway. So, I mean, might as well. And so that's it in terms of your long-term future. Let's go on and look. At the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is pretty much just a thing that we look at to see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. It's pretty much just used to, on a scale from 1 to 100. Not made by me. It is completely automated. And I am not the creator of it. I am kind of the creator of it, but I do not make the scores that go along with it. But now let's go on and look at that. So right now, the weather score, or the crazy score for tonight, is actually pretty low. What we expected. It's at 18 right now. It's at 18. It's at the mild category, slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns. At 18 right now. No, I'm not going live tonight, obviously. Slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns. Most likely just, honestly think that you might actually can move that to a 15. If it was me, honestly, I would have that inside the calm category. I mean, it's clear right now. And, there will be some light clouds, but overall, I don't think it's going to be cloudy throughout the entire state. So, honestly, I'll say, but I'm not arguing or doing anything with it. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. So looking at the audience now, Mr. Anthony says, good evening, weatherman. Good evening to you. Thad says, good Friday, Joseph. I hope all is well with you. It was not that bad today. It was a very violent thunderstorm around 2 o'clock in the morning. I wish I would have recorded some of the lightning and thunder. It was beautiful. So that, I think, I'm not quite sure what your forecast was for yesterday. All I know is that it was hot. I think there was a slight chance of thunderstorms. I do remember taking that off the thing. So, it did verify. You did have a thunderstorm, and it was a violent thunderstorm. Now, I'm going to assume when you say violent, you mean by the thunder, not by the wind or by the hail or anything like that. So that's most likely just like a regular garden variety thunderstorm. Not too violent, but in terms of thunder and lightning, probably you could say violent. Trail says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you as well. And that's it. So hopefully that about clears everything up. Let's talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia while we're here. Starting off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight, 76. High temperatures tomorrow, 99. Low temperatures tomorrow night, 77. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. In terms of severe weather for San Antonio, no severe weather is expected, even though Monday, potentially on Monday, you could potentially see something. And also excessive rainfall is also inside the question on Tuesday. May the 27th, 2025, some minor flooding is possible on Tuesday, so make sure that you're watching for that. Going into Raleigh, low temperatures tonight, 52, high temperatures tomorrow at 77, low temperatures tomorrow night, 58, no precipitation expected tonight or tomorrow. In terms of severe weather, there is no threat for any sort of severe weather, but in terms of excessive rainfall, also Tuesday, May the 27th, minor flooding is possible with an isolated chance of some flash flooding. And then Philadelphia being the last area with low temperatures 48 tonight, high temperatures tomorrow 65, low temperatures tomorrow night 49, slight chance of showers tonight as well. And no precipitation expected tomorrow. No severe weather, not even any excessive rainfall is expected either. So that's it in terms of those three locations. That's going to wrap that up. Let's go on and talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States, and then we'll be out of here for tonight. A multi-day thunderstorm and heavy rain event will impact the south central U.S. this Memorial Day weekend. Severe thunderstorm may produce large hail, severe gusts, and possibly a tornado or two across portions of the central and southern plains through Monday. The threat for heavy to excessive rainfall and possible flash flooding will return to the south central U.S., especially inside the Ozarks. So, a lot going on. Some frost going on up there in Minnesota as well as Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. We also do have the threat for actually trying to figure out. Okay, there we go right here. They do have a special weather statement for a lot of portions inside of Louisiana because of a tropical funnel cloud. There's a funnel cloud in the vicinity, and it's a very moist and unstable tropical air mass is in place across the area. And pretty much it just talks about the development of tropical funnel clouds, especially where rain-cooled boundaries and all that kind of stuff. Tropical funnel clouds are usually short-lived and do not reach the ground. If the funnel cloud becomes more severe and reaches the ground, minor damage may occur, and a tornado warning will likely be issued. That's the first time I've ever even heard about a tropical funnel cloud. I'm gonna be completely honest. I honestly have no idea. I actually had no idea what that was. So I was learning that along with y'all as well. I was reading that, but that's inside of Louisiana, pretty much for the most part down there, inside of places like Eastern Texas, in like Beaumont, Texas, Port Arthur as well, going into New Iberia. Baton Rouge is included in there, or not Baton Rouge, but up there near Alexandria and Lake Charles. So a lot of areas could potentially see this, and they said some minor damage is possible. So that's what's going on there. And so that's about it there. Let's go in and check out the chat one more time. That says the lightning was so bright and sharp, the thunder was powerful over there inside of San Antonio. So thanks for that report. Glad that you dropped by and said that. For tonight, Trail says, oh, that thunder is different this year. You know, it's usually those afternoon storms, because those afternoon storms is when it usually, or even evening storms, for example, is when that lightning usually gets the loudest. If it ever thunders like in the early afternoon, not too bad, but it's when you get to the evening time to where it really gets bad as well. But, sometimes late morning, like you said, it could happen. It could happen for sure. But let's go on and say one more thing before I get on out of here. If you have not hit the like button, subscribe button, or the share button, make sure you're going to do so. I have no idea why we've had 18 people show up and only 5 likes. Doesn't really make that much sense. It's very easy to do, to just hit the like button, and 13 people did not hit it. So, I'm not going to force anybody to, and, play music. I know some people that won't continue the live stream until they get to a certain goal. But I'm not going to do that. But just please, if you will, if you have not already, also make sure you go and hit the subscribe button as well. We're at 470, trying to get to 500. We only have 30 more people until we get to our goal of 500. We are getting closer and closer and closer. It's getting so far in reach, and honestly, big things will be coming at 500. I said it at the beginning of 400, and I'll keep on saying it. Big things are going to happen at 500 subscribers, so make sure that you go on and get us there. And I will be back tomorrow morning with your Saturday morning forecast update to start off your weekend. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Friday.